Hey there, I'm Alex Kluge from Toronto Home Experts, and I'm super excited to share with you July 2020 real estate market update. A lot of you have been probably reading in the press that the real estate market is red hot, and it is. And I'm here to get some context behind those numbers and explain to you what is happening with the marketplace today. Now, sales activity is one of the best barometers to look at an overall health of a real estate market. And that usually tells us, you know, how confident buyers are, what direction prices are going in. And again, it's a metric that I like to use a lot in terms of determining the health and what's happening. So this is pretty startling for a lot of you to look at when it says that the sales activity is actually up almost 30% to where it was last year. Now, take that with a grain of salt. Yes, the market was very active last month, but we have to remember that last July, July 2019, was a quote unquote normal real estate market. This year, it is not a normal real estate market. We're in a pandemic, obviously. And May and April, we were essentially on pause. So there was very low sales activity during those months. We were on lockdown, and a lot of the activity that was originally planned for April, May was pushed to June and now into July. So what we're seeing is very much a delayed spring market. So people aren't traveling right now, and people are now jumping on purchasing homes because they missed out on the opportunity that really wasn't there in April and May with the low supply of homes. Okay, active listings is another really good metric to look at because it shows to you where were we in terms of number of listings on the market compared to a typical month of the same period. So we look at what's happening now, we're down 16%, which again isn't entirely surprising if we look at what normally happens in a real estate market. So as I just mentioned, July 2019 was a typical real estate market. So we'll see active listings typically creep up in July because most of the sales that have occurred in that year occurred during April, May, June, which is a normal spring market. Now, typically inventory goes up in the summer because these are usually leftover listings that have not sold from the previous month. People are away on holidays, et cetera, et cetera. So we usually see that number increase. But this year, the number is down relative to where it was last year, which is not entirely unexpected. So again, take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. But again, it's showing that there's not a ton of inventory to look at. So buyers are jumping in, which is, again, showing that we have a very, very healthy market. So average price. So average price is taking a average price of homes that sold during a month and comparing it to the previous year of that month. So if we look at what happened this past year compared to last July, we saw a 16.9% average price increase. Now, does that mean real estate prices have gone up 16.9% in the GTA? No, it doesn't, because we're comparing a basket of homes that sold from 1 month and comparing it to another basket of homes that have sold in a previous month. So it's not a great metric to look at. So take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. But if you're going to look at any metric that encompasses what average prices have increased or changed by, it's HPI, which is the house price index that's released by the Toronto Real Estate Board. And what it's telling us that the average prices in GTA have actually increased by approximately 9% year over year, which again is still really startling and impressive considering we're in a pandemic. And you might be asking, why are prices going up? We're in a pandemic. Great question. I think it's partly to do with two things. One, we have historically low interest rates. I have never seen a 5-year fixed rate as low as we see now. And so a lot of buyers are jumping in on that saying, well, I could essentially know what my costs are to carry this mortgage for the next 5 years. So buyers are jumping in on that. The other thing that we're seeing too is a little bit of a lifestyle change, which is really interesting. The pandemic has allowed, um, homeowners or prospective homeowners to think, do I need to make a change to my lifestyle? Is this my forever home? A lot of people are now working from home or working remotely, don't have to make that commute that they used to. So now they're thinking, do I need a little bit more space? Do I need more space to accommodate, a home office? Do I need a little bit more space to raise a family? So do I move a little bit further out of the city? Those are all considerations that we're seeing, and I think is prompting the activity that we've seen now in June and July, and we very much expect that to continue into August as well. Now, days on market, unsurprisingly, has decreased compared to last year. So last July, again, normal real estate market, days on market always increase, typically in July and August in a normal market. This is not a normal market and has now seen 17 days, which is very, very low. So this would be in line with what I would call a very active spring market in a active year. So 17 days is pretty impressive that it is low as that. So again, showing that we're very much a seller's market and properties are selling very quickly. So months of inventory, from listening to last month's episode this is actually one of the best metrics to tell you, are we in a seller's market, a balanced market, or are we in a buyer's market? So unsurprisingly, months of inventory, we are down to 1.8%, which is incredibly low. This is actually the second lowest months of inventory July has ever recorded. So anything less than 3 points to a seller's market, and below 2 is an incredibly tilted market towards sellers. So sellers are very much driving the bus right now in this market. If we're over 3, it's more of a balanced market, I would say, and over 5 is a buyer's market, but we have not seen that in quite some time. So what's interesting about this market is the dollar volume that we saw for this past July was the third highest on record ever for Toronto Real Estate Board. So, which is impressive in itself, but not entirely unsurprising because of what we saw this past June and the fact that we've seen very much a delayed spring market. So I'm going to conclude this video by saying you could always reach us to answer any questions you might have about the real estate market. You can hit us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can send us an email, text message, or you can schedule an appointment on our website, which is torontohomeexperts.com. Schedule an appointment and we'd be happy to give you a consultation and tell you how this real estate market might affect your plans to buy, sell, or rent your property. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you again next month. Bye for now.